dealing with some stuff. We're gonna get some stuff going on here. We're trying to work on getting this to make this a nonprofit, so that way we can help veterans, help ourselves, and also get news out to you guys, along with helping dogs, because we're gonna save dogs, turn them into service dogs, and get them out to veterans in need. That's what our goal is. So that's what we're gonna be doing. All right. So all this news right now. This is from last night after the show. It says breaking: ICE have now deployed to Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport, and they're verifying the legal status of both customers and employees. Oh yes, the employees too. Good.
And new tonight, there's word that ICE is planning immigration enforcement at MSP Airport. That's according to an airport employee who told us agents will spend the next 3 weeks there. Fox 9's Mike Manzoni is live at MSP tonight. And Mike, the airport, however, not confirming this to us.
No, but Randy, it does say that federal regulations do give ICE agents and other federal agents broad access to the property here. The airport worker who told us about the plans says that agents plan to check and verify documents for both travelers as well as customers and employees, that kind of thing, and that they also plan on being in the jet bridges. Federal law requires green card holders to carry their card at all times. If you are a U.S. citizen, you do not have to hand over any documentation. But if you want to, any state driver's license or ID is proof of legal status. Enhanced IDs and passports are proof of U.S. citizenship. We spoke with an immigration attorney who says whether you want to show your documents is ultimately up to you.
It may be easier to present your documentation showing that you have lawful status in the United States or showing that you're a citizen to avoid being placed in detention erroneously if you do have lawful status in the country.
And we reached out to ICE for comment but have not heard back. We're live at MSP tonight. Mike Manzoni, Fox 9.
I've been to that airport. It's actually a really nice airport, I gotta say. There was something about their handicapped bathrooms that I was like, oh my gosh, these are badass. We need these everywhere. Hey, what's up, Sharon? How are you doing? Good morning. Good morning. And Donnie wants his treat, as you can tell. He just walked in the door from being outside. Huh, handsome boy. All right, it says, remember, Iran didn't even have time to close its airspace before the Israeli surprise attack that led to a 12-day war. The U.S. may seek to achieve a similar surprise when the world least expects it. So let's see, what is it saying? So they had actually closed down last night. So the airport closure ended at 12:30 Eastern time in the morning, and Iranian airspace officially reopened. So they had shut it down, and so we all thought, hey, the war's, there's something about to break off. But apparently President Trump decided to cancel it right away for some reason. So we don't know why he did that, but I personally, I think something else happened. Here's my thoughts. And as soon as I saw this, they were like, okay, all this military personnel are moving towards Iran. You got refueling jets heading over to Iran. And in my mind, I'm like, that's kind of weird. Why would they be telling us about it? Why would they be announcing it on the news before the strike hits? Right? It just didn't make sense. So here's what I think. I think either something broke. There's a couple possibilities. Like one possibility could be this. Iran broke out. Or found out somehow, or somebody leaked the information, right? Or I think President Trump had something planned somewhere else in the world, and there was a surprise attack somewhere that we don't even know about yet. That this was a diversion for that. I think that's the best possibility. Thank you for reposting, Sharon. But yeah, I think this is the best possibility that could have possibly happened right there. That's just my thoughts. Am I anybody? No. So, my thoughts is as good as yours. Crybaby alert. So, woke mom brainwashes her kids into failing the common sense test. Why would you do that? A liberal mom just uploaded a TikTok pop quiz where her kids have to pass a wokeness exam like it's the price of dinner. She grills them on everything from gender roles to God, cheering as they spit back preloaded activist slogans like men and women are equal. And they are. Men and women are equal, but not in every way. And religion kills science. Oh my gosh, give me a break. She even made her son say boys get stronger through empathy, which we're guessing means suppressed masculinity, believe every sob story, and cry during the emotions. Okay, I gotta see this. Oh wait, if I click on it, it'll probably just all pop by.
We're being invaded.
Hold on.
We're being invaded at the
Oval Office.
If they really want safety, they would
And the guns.
Everyone has the same chance if they
divide the chance.
You think that's what Minneapolis is
kids
about?
don't need
I
to
don't.
learn
I don't
about
know.
sports. Teaching empathy
Can you explain to me why they? Can you explain to me why they think that so we can talk about it? Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's think about it.
makes boys.
Stronger. Smarter.
Nobody wants to work.
With Donald Trump. Nobody wants to work if they're not getting paid that much.
Men are better at.
Yeah, men and women are equal.
If you're poor in America, it's because you
Pick the wrong person to vote for.
If people just believed in God, we wouldn't have.
If people just believed in God, we wouldn't have science. We wouldn't know about
Oh my
evolution.
goodness. Yeah,
Facts
where's their
change
father?
Depending on what is discovered. We're being invaded at the.
Wow, what a mother of the year here, folks. Mother of the frickin' year. So just as a diversion with what's going on around the world. But what is a diversion for, Sharon? That's what I'm curious about. What is a diversion about? Is it about maybe that they're trying? Oh, I see. Because a lot of people are trying to say he's trying to hide the Epstein files. Well, I don't think this is a diversion for that. This was, Nick Shirley came out with this, and granted, President Trump or somebody in the office could have went to Nick Shirley and said, "Hey, do research on this." But Nick Shirley is from Minnesota, right? And that's why he did it in Minnesota. Why didn't they do it in California to go after Gavin Newsom, right? I think I don't think this is a diversion. I think this is real true fraud in what we're seeing here, and I don't see it as a diversion. I just don't. I can't see that as a diversion. All right, why is China flying 2 planes into Iran while the airspace is closed? Mahan air flights from Guangzhou and Shenzhen heading to Tehran as an entire region clears airspace. What is China doing? Now, this could be interesting. I don't know enough about aviation and stuff. Can they maybe take the electronics out of a commercial airline, or even just change the numbers or the signal or something like that and put it in a military plane? Could they do that? Is that possible? I mean, I would guess it is possible, right? What if that's what they did? What if they have a military plane that's disguised as a commercial plane and they fly it in there? They fly it in there. He's from Ohio, PB 9008. Thank you for entering the conversation. So you think Nick Sorter is from Ohio? Okay, I could be wrong. I thought he was. Well, we can go right here. We can do it this way. Let's go to Grok, and let's say, where is Nick Shirley from? This should tell us pretty quickly, and we shall see. That's why it's called Eddie Questions Everything. I want to know the YouTuber and visual videos. Let's see. Is originally from Utah. Oh my gosh, we were both wrong. He's originally from Utah. So while he travels extensively for content, including work in Minnesota and elsewhere, his hometown and roots are firmly in Utah. Okay, so he's from Utah. I was off. I was way off. Oh my goodness. Thank you for, I appreciate that you mentioned that. Because then I looked it up, so now we know the truth, and I was way the heck off. I was way off. Anyway, so back to this China stuff. Do you guys think that this could be... It's because they don't show the picture of the plane. This could be listed as a commercial plane, but it's actually a Chinese military action plane. Who knows? Who knows? It's possible. It's possible. Will we ever find out? We'll see. We shall see. Donnie's looking at me like, "Dad, I want a treat." You already had your morning treat, bud. Did I just do the same one twice? Let me try this. Did I mess up? Yep, I messed up. Okay, my bad, guys. My bad. Yeah, I don't think we'll see it either, Sharon. Okay, so if the United States strikes, Iran might go full war mode. Trisha Parsi warns Iran's regime believes the U.S. and Israel are trying to fully destroy them, and if they feel cornered, they might hit back hard. If the U.S. does strike in a limited way, I don't even know if the Iranians would buy it at this point. Let's a 5-minute talk. And Mario Nawful. If you guys don't, if you're on X and you don't have him as one of the people you follow, he's a good person to follow. He works. I think he works for Elon Musk. I'm not exactly sure, but they sure do a lot of stuff together. All right, let's see what's going on here.
And when it comes to retaliation, we saw limited retaliation, if any, when Qasemi was Suleiman Qasemi. Or can you pronounce it? Qasemi.
Qasem Soleimani.
Qasem Soleimani, there you go. When he was assassinated many years ago, and we saw limited retaliation in the 12-day war as well on the U.S. It seems Iran doesn't have
I'm going to look up something with Grok here real quick too.
But they do not want the U.S. to be involved in a full-blown war. If the U.S. does strike, let's say it's a targeted, limited strike, which is what I would expect. If the U.S. does strike in a limited way Iran, do you think Iran would respond again symbolically, or do you think it will be a full-blown response against U.S. bases across the region and beyond? Could we see a response through some sort of sabotage or direct attack on U.S. territory as well?
I think first we have to remember it was a negotiated strike last time, not in the sense that the U.S. negotiated with the Iranians where to strike, etc.
You follow him? Yeah.
He's great. It was communicated very clearly. They were going to strike Fordo. They asked the Iranians to vacate those plans to ensure that there's no casualties. The Iranians afterwards said they're going to strike back. There may have been then some sort of a negotiation. I think there's some in Qatar that suspect that the U.S. wanted the strike to be in Qatar and not elsewhere. And so there was a bit of coordination there. I am not sure if coordination can be achieved at this point, because the sentiment inside of Iran has been, or within the system, within the regime, has been
going up to 1.5 trillion.
Not striking back at the U.S., and you're right, they don't want a complete confrontation, nevertheless means that the U.S. will keep on striking and weakening and weakening and weakening Iran together with Israel. And then at some point, they will go for a complete decapitation and destruction of the regime. And at that point, Iranians will be too weak to do anything about it. So they might as well strike back hard now. I think the brutality in which they clamped down on the protests was partly aimed at sending a message to the United States and saying that now they believe that their backs are against the wall, they're facing an existential situation, and in that situation, they will not go for some sort of a symbolic retaliation any longer, and they will strike back hard. First of all, and second of all, to be able to convince the regime that this is just limited, there has to be that communication. I don't even know if the Iranians would buy it at this point. But another point that I like to make, though, is I don't think the Israelis are going to be content with just a decapitation of the regime. They want the United States to take out Iran's military might.
I don't think that would happen, though.
The next Islamic Republic guy, but with a different last name, to still have the same capability. On Channel 14, again, Netanyahu's channel, they said 2 nights ago that look what Israel did in Syria. They said 20 minutes after Assad boarded the plane to Russia, Israel turned all of Syria into a shooting range. And that's true. That's exactly what they did. They went in and they destroyed everything to make sure that the next regime, whoever it is, would not be able to be any challenge to Israel. And immediately they also annexed, technically, de facto, large swathes of Syrian territory. And on TV, they said...
Okay, so if we actually went to war with Iran, and this is just it's basically off of how they've been... they've killed Americans in Iran, right? This is how it all started. So let's look up I looked up the statistics, right? And it says military comparison, U.S. versus Iran. It says based on the recent assessments, early 2026, the United States hold a significant advantage in overall military strength, ranking first globally according to global firepower, while Iran is 16th. Global ranking first is the United States. Iran is 16th. That's not too big of a difference, right? The defense budget $895 billion. Although President Trump is getting up to $1.5 trillion, and they only have $15 billion over in Iran. Active personnel, we have 1.3 to 1.4 million, and they have around 650,000. Reserve personnel, we have more reserve personnel than they do in their active personnel. They have around 1,700 tanks. We have around 4,600 tanks, and it's not going to be, let's be real here. It's not going to be fought on the ground. I wouldn't think. Armored vehicles, we we have 8 times more, almost 8 times more than armored vehicles. The aircraft total 13,000. They only have 551, and they're outdated pre-1979 models. That's how old their aircrafts are. But if you have a good enough pilot, they can still do some damage, right? Their naval vessels, they only have 107 with no carriers, so they focus mainly on speedboats and submarines. Their artillery we have towed rocket projectors. They have towed rocket projectors. They have more towed rocket projectors than we do. But I doubt those will hit our planes, because our planes are pretty good up there. Our stuff is all spread out around the world too. That's true, Sharon. So it says the U.S. excels in air superiority, naval power, and precision strikes, which we do. So hypothetical outcomes: U.S. led decisive victory. The U.S. could leverage its superior air and naval forces' targeted strikes on Iranian nuclear sites, military infrastructure, and command centers, potentially crippling Iran's capabilities without a ground invasion. And that's what I think is going to happen. But we're not going to take over the whole entire military. You're not going to take over the whole entire country like that. Let's be real. Look what happened in Venezuela. We didn't take over the whole entire country. We didn't take out their whole entire military. That's not what's going to happen. So I don't see that happening, even though they're saying the people of Iran would do that. PB 9008 says, do you think President Trump will do the Insurrection Act today? I find it funny that he hasn't done it yet, but he did say, I think I have the tweet coming up. He did say, we're going to do it soon if they don't do this. The problem with this is I don't know why he hasn't done it yet. Let's be honest and clear about that. I don't know why he hasn't done it yet. So my guess is that that's a hard one. It's a hard one, and that is a great question. I don't know if he's going to do it yet. After last night, where protesters broke into ICE cars and did everything they could to break open into a rifle case, I think there's a good possibility, but I don't think it's 100% guaranteed. That's probably the best answer I can give you, because I just look at the news and see what's going on and give my thoughts on it. And yes, I have a degree in journalism and research, but I don't have the knowledge good enough to give you an answer to that. And Sharon says, why isn't Waltz and Frey looked up for inciting riots? Well, here's the thing, folks. I learned this basically from a TV show, and then after watching this TV show, I've been convinced that the TV show has it pretty right. If you've ever watched the show House of Cards, great show. Yes, it has the pedophile in it, but it's still a great show. Up until the last season. The last season I stopped watching because it was just... However, what they say is, politics is not about what you can do to get stuff done. It's all about what you know on another official or a congressman or a senator, just anybody else in office, right? It's what dirt do you have on them? That's how you get stuff done. That's how you get away with everything, because you got dirt on them. So you're like, look, you got this dirt on me now, but remember, I have the dirt on you, so you better not say anything. And for this reason, because everybody has done something wrong in their life. Nobody's perfect. God didn't make us perfect. We all make mistakes. Hell, I was running for county supervisor, and my life, I was having a lot of issues in my life at the time, but I was given the opportunity to run for county supervisor, and I didn't and I went for it because I didn't want to, but I did. And so I had an issue, and I drank and I drove and I got a DUI. So I made a mistake too, right? But I manned up to it. But I digress. So, anyways, everybody has something dirt on somebody else, and that's why politicians aren't getting arrested. That's the real fact. At least in my mind, okay? I don't have proof of it because we're not really gonna have proof of it. But I think that every politician has dirt on another politician, and it's Democrats versus Republicans. So if you're a Republican, and even though there's no dirt on you per se, they might say, well, you know what, I got dirt on this person, and this person's really important to you, and I'll let this information out. That's what I think is going on. That's exactly what I think is going on. Could I be wrong? Yes. But the chances are highly likely that that's what's going on. That's all. That's the only thing that's understandable in my brain. If that makes sense to you. All right, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz holds a news conference. We got to see this. Let's watch this dumb stuff.
Masked, undertrained ICE agents are going door to door, ordering people to point out where their neighbors of color live. They're pulling over people indiscriminately, including U.S. citizens, and demanding to see their papers. And at grocery stores, at bus stops, even at our schools, they're breaking windows, dragging pregnant women down the street, just plain grabbing.
You know, that's how he's talking. You say, oh, they're dragging pregnant women down the street. You didn't mention how that pregnant woman was harassing ICE, getting in their face. And I don't remember. I remember the video of them dragging the woman, and she did something to them. I don't remember what she did to him, but she definitely did something to him. He doesn't mention that part.
Minnesotans and shoving them into unmarked vans, kidnapping innocent people with no warning and no due process. Let's be very, very clear. This long ago stopped being a matter of immigration enforcement. Instead, it's a campaign of organized.
Okay, real quick. So you ask, that's why you say Minnesota is a diversion. Why hasn't anything been done, just like the BLM riots? That's what I'm trying to explain to you. I don't think it's a diversion. I think what this is that they can't arrest these people because they're Democrats, and they're pushing the Democrat playbook. And so higher up Democrats, probably like Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, somebody like that, that's a lot higher up, is going to President Trump and saying, you know what? If you arrest them, then I'm going to unleash the knowledge that we have about so-and-so, this person. And it's a Republican. So I don't think it's a diversion. What I think is this. I think that, or do you mean it's a diversion for the Democrats to divert as a diversion to do something to us?
Brutality against the people of Minnesota.
Maybe that's not what I'm hearing.
By our own federal
I'm gonna
government.
grab some chocolate milk.
Last week, that campaign claimed the life of Renee Nicole Good. We've all watched the video. We've all seen what happened. And yet, instead of conducting an impartial investigation so we can hold accountable the officer responsible for Renee's death, the Trump administration is devoting the full power of the federal government to finding an excuse to attack the victim and her family. Just yesterday, 6 federal prosecutors, including the longtime career prosecutor leading the charge to investigate and eliminate fraud in our state's programs, quit their jobs rather than go along with this assault on the United States Constitution.
Not an assault on the Constitution.
But as bad as it's been, Donald Trump intends for it to get worse. This week, he went online to promise that, quote, the day of retribution and reckoning is coming. That's a direct threat against the people of this state who dared to vote against him 3 times.
No, it's a direct threat against the people that are breaking the law, committing fraud against the United States, and ruining it for children who are actually in need.
And who continue to stand up for freedom with courage and empathy and profound grace. All across Minnesota, people are stepping up to help their neighbors who are being unjustly and unlawfully targeted. They're distributing care packages and walking kids to school and raising their voices in peaceful protest, even though doing
peaceful protest, running over an ICE agent is a peaceful protest. Throwing fireworks at him is a peaceful protest.
So has made many of our fellow Minnesotans targets for violent retribution. Folks, I know it's scary, and I know it's absurd that we all have to.
And real quick, I'm going to tell you why this works. So if you're a liberal, you mainly stick to liberal news outlets, right? You won't go to X because you don't want to see what the lying conservatives are saying. The lying conservatives are saying this. What's up, Eric? Long time no see, buddy. So they only watch CNN, MSNBC, stuff like that, right? And they go to Blue Sky. And so all of these news outlets don't show the whole truth. They show their skewed version, so you'll believe everything that these Democrats say. Just like, I got to be honest, same thing, right? You go to Fox News, you go to conservative outlets, same thing. That's why that's why I personally, I'll show you stuff from CNN and I'll show you stuff from Fox News. I show you stuff from all over the place. Because whether I like it or not, I want you guys to know the truth. I don't want to be a skewed journalist. When I give you my opinion, am I going to give you my opinion as a conservative? Yes. But if it hurts the United States, I'm still going to give my opinion. And that's why a lot of people don't like me and why a lot of people don't watch me. So this is how they get away with it. You think, how do they believe them? When we see all the proof of the fireworks being thrown, her getting hit or her hitting the cop, right? Because the liberal news won't show it. And just like, conservatives say, I won't watch CNN. Well, liberals say, I won't watch conservative news outlets either. It's just the way it works, unfortunately. And that's why you have people like me here to piss you off and tell you the real truth.
Defending law and order, justice, and humanity, while also caring for our families and trying to do our jobs. So tonight, let me say once again to Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, end this occupation. You've done enough. Let me say 4 critical things to the people of Minnesota.
There you go.
4 things I want you to hear as you watch the news and look out for your neighbors. First, Donald Trump wants this chaos. He wants confusion. And yes, he wants more violence on our streets. We cannot give him what he wants. We must protest.
Actually, it's the other way around. The Democrats want this confusion. They want the riots. So that way they're trying to cover up the fraud scheme right now. So they're like, yes, please riot, please riot. Like they didn't tell Renee Good to run over an ICE agent and get shot. They didn't tell her to do that. But as soon as it happened, they're like, yes, this is our perfect explosion that we need for a riot. We need a riot now to get all the eyes off of Minnesota's fraud. That's what's going on.
Loudly.
Is that what you meant by a diversion, Sharon?
Urgently, but also peacefully. Indeed, as hard as we will fight in the courts and at the ballot box, we cannot and will not let violence prevail. You're angry? I'm angry. Angry's not a strong enough word.
You're angry because you got caught with your hand in the cookie jar.
You are not powerless. You are not helpless. And you are certainly not alone. All across Minnesota, people are learning about opportunities, not just to resist, but to help people who are in danger. Thousands upon.
Did you hear it? He says they're looking for opportunities, not just to resist. So he's saying they're looking for opportunities to resist. They want to resist. They're trying to find anything to resist.
Thousands of our fellow Minnesotans
Sharon,
are going.
And I'm sorry, Sharon. It's early in the morning. Mornings are the worst for me. I wake up in like awful pain and I can barely get out of bed. So I'm still waking up.
To be relying on mutual aid in the days and weeks to come, and they need our support. Tonight, I want to share another way you can help. Witness. Help us establish a record of exactly what's happening in our communities. You have an absolute right to peacefully film ICE agents as they conduct these activities.
They do.
So carry your phone with you at all times. And if you see these ICE agents in your neighborhood, take out that phone and hit record. Help us create.
So what he's doing right here, folks, is he is telling them, in a nice way. He's saying, you know what? They're doing stuff wrong, so you need to film them. You have to film them. He's not saying them by the words, but he's telling you, you need to film ICE agents. Just that insinuance right there means, hey, yeah, they're doing something wrong. You need to film them. You need to film them. Yeah, wakey.
Create a database of the atrocities against Minnesotans, not just to establish a record for posterity, but to bank evidence for future prosecution. The third thing I want to say to you tonight is, we will not have to live like this forever. Accountability is coming at the voting booth and in court. We will reclaim our communities from Donald Trump. We will reestablish a sense of safety for our neighbors.
What community are you talking about? I think he's talking about the Somali community, right? We will get the Somali community. And remember how earlier he said 3 times we voted against President Trump? Well, actually, it's only the big cities in Minnesota. If you look around at all the counties in Minnesota, let's see, Minnesota district voting map, and how they voted in the presidential election. Let's do it this way. Let's see if we can find this. I should have done it with Grok. What's up, Get Some? How you doing, my friend? 2024 election map. So look, they're saying that he's mad at Minnesota because of they voted against President Trump. Well, yeah. What is it? So Rochester is an area that's blue. Minneapolis and St. Paul and the surrounding areas here. Brooklyn City, Fridley, stuff like this. These places voted blue. And up in Duluth and this area up near here, they all voted blue. And this one little tiny area here. But the rest of the state is red. Funny, but he's saying, oh yeah, you just hate us because we all voted against you. No. You're doing great to see you, Get Some. Glad you're in the house, buddy.
And we will bring an end to this moment
you're
of
feeling
chaos,
better, my
confusion,
friend.
and trauma.
Everybody pray for Get Some. He's going through cancer
forward,
still.
And we'll do it together. And we'll not be alone. Every day, we are working with business leaders, faith leaders, legal experts, and elected officials from across this country. They've all seen what Donald Trump is trying to do to our state, and they know their states could be next. And that brings me to the fourth thing I want to say tonight, Minnesota. How incredibly proud I am of the way that you've risen to meet this unbearable moment. But I'm not at all surprised, because this is who we are.
Okay, I'm done with this jackass. And just so real quick too. So, you're saying that it's like that way in Maryland. Well, I live in California, and you know what? I'm going to show you. I didn't even spell Minnesota wrong. Minnesota. Let me show you where I live in California. I don't know what this map's going to look like, but I'm guessing. Look at that. It's not as bad. It's not the same as Minnesota. I mean, we have a lot more blue, but we have a lot more people than Minnesota. So San Diego, liberal. LA's liberal. But I know a lot of people living in San Jose that are conservative. Liberal. Everybody on the coast is all liberal, right? But everybody out here is all conservative. And I'm here. I'm about 45 minutes up the mountain from Fresno, up near Yosemite. And yeah, we all vote. All my neighbors have Trump signs. When I go to the store and I go down the road that I go to get into town, Trump signs everywhere, Trump flags everywhere. California, it's just these big states where all the people live that are on welfare and junk like that. That's all it is. Such a shame. Cancer is in remission. Wife, no way. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Get some. Well, at least your cancer is in remission, but your wife had a stroke on Sunday. Shift all her prayers to her. God has a plan, brother. Oh man, I'm sorry. Get some. You have my phone number, bro. You should know that you can call me any time of day or night, no matter when it is. If you need somebody to talk to, I'm here. Get Some has done the same thing for me. When I'm driving on the road, I'll live stream it so I stay awake late at night. And Get Some is always the one there just talking to me, keeping me awake at night. So I appreciate Get Some and his family. So everybody say a prayer for his wife. All right. Students who participated in the anti-ICE protest at Minnesota State Capitol were instructed to return to the vans and buses so they could be transported back to school. Who paid for these buses? And these kids started a fight, too.
Hey guys, quick announcement before we keep on going.
Whoa, that's loud.
Washington and Como, your vans are here to take you guys back to school right there in front. So you guys should start heading out. That vans are going to leave at 2:40. So Washington and Como, if you guys need to get on those vans, the vans
So my question is, who paid for this? And is it are they using school buses and stuff? What are they doing here? What are they doing? That's kind of what I'm curious about now. Who's paying for
Just
this?
heading out. The first van's there. If you need to get back to your school and get on the buses, you need to get on those vans. So start heading there now. Thank you.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Thank you, Get Some. I'm always there for you too, bud. You know that. All right. CENTCOM operations refined for President Trump. I'm sick and tired of these people just putting Trump. He earned the title of president 3 times, if you ask me. So just give him, he earned that title. Say President Trump. When you speak about President Trump, say President Trump. You can say Donald J. Trump if you want. Don't just say Trump. Say President Trump. Stop being lazy. Give the man the respect he deserves. And I'll tell you, I don't agree with 100% of everything he does. I've gone against him on many things, but I still think he deserves to be called President Trump. The fraud money is in works, maybe. So military options have been tailored to match president's objectives. An emergency security council session on Iran could happen as early as Thursday at 3 p.m. in New York. You don't refine strike packages and call the security council at the same time unless you're about to do something. So, I don't know. We got a good chance of him striking right now. Okay, no, this is a different number. Copy link. It's another Mario novel. Brown University shooter caught on camera fleeing the scene. Bus footage shows Claudia Neves Valente calmly walking across Hope Street seconds after killing 2 students and wounding 9. Later, he murdered the MIT professor before his suicide in New Hampshire. So let's see this. I wonder what kind of a vehicle this is. Is this a police vehicle or just a personal vehicle with a dash cam? Just walking away like nothing happened. Wow. I don't understand people how they can murder somebody like this and just go on with their day. Okay, so we already have police vehicles out. You hear sirens coming in. So I wonder if this is... It doesn't show... Normally it would show a number up here if they were police. And he's slowing down for the police to go by. So I think this is a personal vehicle. That would be my guess. Just walked away like nothing's going on. Like, nope, nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to see here. So it says breaking news. President Trump just exposed rampant Somali fraud in Minneapolis, and Tim Walz is furious. He even posted the pictures of the businesses. Does anybody believe that in Minneapolis, these are food stamp businesses? There's no food, there's no cleanliness, there's no service, there's nothing except for fraud. They get sent millions of dollars of taxpayer money and laugh at how stupid the Americans are, but not anymore. These people should be sent back to Somalia or any other country where they came from. California, Illinois, New York, and so many other places are equally as bad. It's all a giant Democrat scam with protection from the fake news media, but it will end as we make America great again. Let's see some of these pictures. Yeah, these do look kind of disgusting stores, right? African Market, Any Stop, Tuaca Halal store. Oh my gosh, speaking of halal. So halal is a way of it's a way you have to get this for a certain group of people. You have to get this food done the halal way, and it's forced on you. And I got in trouble for it. I just actually I graduated my community college, and I was now at Fresno State at university, and I was the former president of the student government there. So they asked me to come to this meeting, and somebody was like, does anybody here know what halal is? So I raised my hand, and they're like, yes, you, sir. I'm like, yeah, it's a bunch of terrorist groups who force people to pay them money by saying stuff needs to be done in the halal way. And all it is a terrorist organization that gets funding to come and shoot down planes here in the United States and attack American citizens and Christians. I got asked to leave. I was, it wasn't, yeah, I got asked to leave. I don't think you get some. Oh, wait, hold on. I already did that one. I got a list over here on the right, and I got to copy and paste it. Send it over here so I know what we've done. All right, get some. You know, take care of that lovely wife of yours, and your day will get better. I promise. Your days will get better. Something good's got to happen. See you later. Get some. What, Donnie? You already got a treat this morning. You already got a treat this morning, buddy. Everybody wants. You guys want to see Donnie, the super service dog here, my little baby boy, my monster, huh? Huh, monster? Yeah, you're my babies. Yes, he is. We take a Donnie break. We'll give you a treat, huh? You want a treat? We got to give one to your sister too, though. Does Panda get a treat? Yeah. Okay, we'll give you a treat. We'll give you guys a treat. All right. Got one for you and one for Panda. So there you go. Panda. There you go, sweetheart. There's your treat. Panda's a little shy. Come here, Panda. Let's see if you can see her. Panda. Come on, a little bit closer. There you go. There you can see Pandas. There's Panda Bear. She's my little border collie. My little pretty border collie. All right, now we can get back. Now that the dogs got their treats. They got their treats. So breaking news, another ICE-involved shooting in Minneapolis after Target goes after ICE agents with a shovel, per Fox's News. So this happened last night. And I've got some more information on this, so we'll find more out about it, because I go from old news to newest news. So we start with the oldest news first. So I should have some more about this coming up. So restaurant rage. Federal law enforcement agents were forced to leave a Mexican restaurant in St. Paul, Minnesota, after diners began shouting explicitives at them, demanding they leave the business. I would have just stayed there. Actually, you know what? I probably wouldn't have stayed there, because they probably would have spit in my food or something, right? Let's watch this.
Take off your mask!
Well, you guys are a bunch of dumbasses. If you wanted to see them without their masks, you should have let them get their food first, because then they would have had to take their mask off to eat the food. And then you would have been able to take a picture from them. But you're stupid, and you just start harassing them right away.
Un-American pieces of
And this is all because of the rhetoric from the Democrats. And it's funny, you know, the other night they were saying, just, you know, you can't hold all of the liberals responsible for what one person did. You know, Renee Good, yes, she hit that car, but you can't hold everybody else responsible for it. Actually, they weren't talking about Renee Good. I think they were talking about the fraud that we were finding in Minnesota. It's like, you can't hold us all the daycares responsible. Well, you can't hold all the ICE agents responsible if you think one person killed a person on purpose, which he didn't. She hit him with the car. He actually had to go for internal bleeding, and that's the story they're telling us, at least. So how come you can tell them to, oh, ICE is bad, go after ICE, film them, do this, but yet, you know, hypocrites. They're hypocrites. That's all they are, is hypocrites. And the rhetoric from the Democrats and the media are what is causing this to happen. They're getting people killed, not the ICE agents. All right, Mark Ruffalo is getting trolled all over the internet. Yeah, if you don't know who Mark Ruffalo is, what was he? Here is I think he is, what's the green guy from? What the Hulk? He's the Hulk in Avenger movies and some other movies. But he's hey, President Trump and ICE and fuck you guys and this and that, and I'd kick your ass, you know, blah blah blah. So, and this is not Mark Ruffalo. This is a guy making fun of him. It looks like, I haven't seen the video yet, but it looks like it might be good.
Mark Ruffalo, can you tell us about those buttons you're wearing?
Oh yeah, you notice all of these? Yeah, so this one right here is for Renee Good, a liberal white woman in her 40s.
By the way, if you saw that button that they put, it's a little tiny button. They probably paid 20. They're like, oh look, we found these Be Good buttons. They're 25 cents each. Let's buy them and then just give them out to people. Because they didn't want to mess up their nice fancy clothing, right? All they could give her was a little teeny tiny button.
She got murdered by ICE, and I will not be complicit because we need to stand and protect illegals. So go out and fight for Renee Good. Make sure you get out in the streets. Okay, if you get murdered, that's okay though. I'll wear another button. But save the white tears because I'm also wearing a Black Lives Matter button, so I don't want to be too insensitive to that community. And then I got the trifecta: free Venezuela, free Ukraine, and free Palestine. But don't let you distract that from my free Israel button as well. I don't want my Jewish brothers to feel like I'm being anti-Semitic. And then I'm also wearing my LGBTQ plus and I'm my trans youth. We're fighting for trans kids. But also be sensitive about my trans button because even though men can be women, I am pro-feminist, I'm pro-woman, so notice the Me Too button right here. I hope all of these buttons represent that you need to go out, fight until you die for these issues, and if you do die, I will wear another button next year.
That's pretty funny. And you know, this is another problem, folks. They're celebrities. They are paid to lie. They're paid to act. They don't care about you. They're getting paid to say this stuff, folks. And even if they are saying it on their own volition, right, without needing to get paid or anything, they're celebrities. They're not politicians. They're not history majors. They're none of that. They're just some stupid person that you watch on TV and you like their character or you think they're hot and that's why you watch them. They're not somebody to trust in giving you political advice. And I don't get why people do, but they do. They do. You know, and it's not just new, folks. Ever since commercials have been around, they've hired celebrities to be in the commercials. Because they know people were like, oh my God, look at that. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is in a Bud vehicle. I gotta drink Bud. We do that, right? We do that. You know, Pepsi. You see Cindy Crawford drinking this Pepsi. You're like, man, if I drink a Pepsi, will I get Cindy Crawford? Right? It works. It's just sad that it works so well. I think this was after they broke into the vehicle. I'm not sure. This was last night, though.
Nobody wants you there. Christy, no one wants to sacrifice one of you. Sacrifice all. Trying to get these fuckers killed, you know that, right? They're using you as a political Christy, no one wants one of you.
Look how short that one is. They put the shortest person up front. Look at that.
Fucking just leave. There's plenty of other paying jobs out there. Be an electrician or a plumber. Where's the ball? That's the question.
Where's the what? I couldn't hear it. Right, baseball? By the way, guys, Eric's in Minnesota. So.
Get the fuck out of our state! We don't need your help policing! Have you heard of the 10th Amendment?
Tell me what the 10th Amendment is, bro. Look at that. He said, have you heard of the 10th Amendment? Well, let's get the exact wording so we can see what he is trying to talk about here real quick. The 10th Amendment to the United States Constitution reserves powers not given to the federal government nor forbidden to the states of the people, establishing the principle of federalism by limiting federal power and ensuring states retain significant authority over areas like education, local law enforcement, and zoning. Well, here's the difference, though. See how it says right here, local law enforcement? Illegal aliens are not local law enforcement. They are federal law enforcement. They're federal law enforcement agents. So they can go in there because, see, it says only local law enforcement. They're going there to protect the ICE facility, right? The ICE facility is a federal piece of property. That's how stupid these people are. Well, they're not stupid. They're just, they're trying to, they lie because they know nobody's going to call them on it. But guess what? I do. It's a nice Silverado. Not as good as my Cummins 2500 Ram, but still nice.
You can't flash it. You cannot flash it. You cannot mess with my camera. You cannot mess with my camera, buddy. I know you see me pretty clearly. You don't need a flashlight. No one else has a flashlight on. You can turn this shit off. You can turn this shit off. You can see clearly. You can see clearly. You can see clearly.
Listen, you could turn off your flashlight on me. Stop flashing your light at me.
I know you're cold. A lot of y'all ain't gonna rest. I've been out here a little longer than y'all. Y'all just got out here and y'all already going back inside because you're cold. It's pretty crazy.
They need to just start arresting anybody that touches them, anybody that throws anything at them, anybody that does anything to harm them. Anything that breaks the law, they need to arrest them for.
You're a fucking disgrace. You're a fucking disgrace. You're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit.
Stop blocking traffic!
You're impeding with traffic. You fucking idiot.
Traffic with your car!
That's why you turned off the flashlight, because you can see clear as day. You lying sad as shit. You lying sad as shit.
This shows you how stupid liberals are.
All you fucking corrupt fuckers.
Have you ever noticed that when you go to where conservatives are protesting something, they're not using cuss words all the time? Some do, but most don't. Just shows the mentality of the liberals. If you have to use foul language to get your point across, then you have no point, and you lost the battle already. All right, after Portland police reluctantly took an insurgent into custody at the ICE facility, one of the officers hoisted his "fuck Trump" flag over his head, waving it. No way. Was he just lifting it to wave it, or was he lifting it because he had to move it or something? Let's see. Oh no, he's definitely waving it. He's definitely, yeah, fuck Trump is what he's saying.
Wow.
Definitely is. Definitely is. But I mean, that's all they have over there in Portland is freaking, in order to be a police officer, you got to be liberal and you got to promote the liberal. I mean, look at the cop, the head cop. He cried over illegal aliens that shot at ICE agents, right? It's disgraceful. All right, federal response to ICE-involved shooting of a Venezuelan gang member. Okay, so this is more of that. What happened last night?
Looks like they're trying to force through to control the scene with a vehicle. They're clearing. There's a person arrested, it seems. I'm not quite sure, on the ground. She looks like she's cuffed.
Good.
Yep. There's Border Patrol officers in full camo. They're armed with...
Wait a minute. That almost looks like Renee's good wife. I don't think it is, but it almost looks like Renee Good's wife, doesn't it?
A couple of them have night vision.
You can put the microphone
Yes.
to what they're saying. Dude, what are you doing? What made you sign your oath and do this to us? Is your dick that small? Is it? Did your uncle touch you at Christmas?
They
That's
looks
insane.
like they're trying to force through.
Liberal people. They're not the smartest or the brightest, are they? Okay, protesters gather on the scene for the second ICE and Vice while shooting. This is from Fox News. This was still yesterday.
I learned that there was an ICE-involved shooting in Minneapolis. We go live to Alexis McAdams. She is live on the ground with the details. Alexis, I've just been looking at these images that we're just getting a hold of now, and we'll keep them up for our audience to see. It looks like things are, spiraling out of control very quickly there.
Well, Sean, that's the thing, is it ebbs and flows. So 1 minute, there's a small protest at the federal building. The next minute, these people with whistles and an agenda show up to these different sites across the city. That's what DHS has been saying. What we know right now from our colleague Bill Malugin, who just got off the phone with his federal sources, Sean, is that a man who was a target of an ICE operation from Venezuela, who ICE says was in the country illegally, was a target in this operation here in Minnesota. So they go to the door. That's when they say this Venezuelan migrant held up a shovel, tried to assault one of their agents. And you can hear those chants there in the background as protesters show up. That's when they say use the shovel to try and assault the agent. Shots were fired. This Venezuelan teen, we're told, was shot in the leg, expected to be okay. Bill Malugin telling me there's actually a picture that a source texted him of this guy on a stretcher smiling, kind of giving a thumbs up as he's taken away to the hospital. So we'll get more.
Yeah, he's like, I just earned my reward. I earned the reward. Now I got the stupidity reward now. The liberals are going to love me, and I'm going to make views on the internet. I'm going to be getting my 5 minutes of fame. So federal agents involved in another North Minneapolis shooting. Let's see what this footage is of. Let's see what's going on here.
Get the fuck out of our community. Nobody wants you here. Christy, no one wants to sacrifice one of you.
Oh, it's the same footage we saw. This is the same footage we saw earlier, but it's longer. So let's see if there's anything interesting happens here. Or is it the same amount of footage? Nope, it's the same exact footage. Okay, my bad. My bad. That happens sometimes. That happens sometimes. Because I don't watch the videos until... I want to give you guys a reaction that's true and real. So I don't watch them most of the time until now. Let's see what this... Is this the same Fox News?
The thing is, it ebbs and flows. So 1 minute, there's a small protest at the federal building. The next minute, these people with whistles and an agenda show up to these different sites across the city. That's what DHS has been saying. What we know right now from our colleague Bill Malugin, who just got off the phone with his federal sources, Sean, is that a man who was a target of an ICE operation.
Yeah, that's the exact same we saw earlier, too. Okay. So hard when you don't watch the videos. You don't know exactly what they're saying. Dozens of paid leftists are now harassing federal agents. This is from Freedom News. This is a different view of that. That's a beast of a vehicle. I'd love to have one of those. I'd love to have one of those ballistic vehicles. Do you guys really think you're helping the situation? I know they're like, oh yeah, I'm doing my part. You know, nothing's happening, but I'm doing my part. Actually, something is happening. You are doing your part in helping friends get arrested, or your fellow thought thinkers are getting arrested for the stuff that you're doing. You may not be getting in trouble, but you're pushing other people to. So, just saying. So, suspect spot. So, this is more on it. Let's see this video here. Let's see what happens here. Maybe they got it on the video. Oops. Was that the guy that got shot in the leg?
Oh shit, le dispararon a una mujer.
So, were they actually shot, or were they shot with a pepper ball and it just stings and they couldn't handle the pain? That looks like a guy. Am I missing the woman who got shot in this video?
Oh shit, le dispararon a una mujer.
I must be lost because I don't see the woman getting shot. Maybe it's there, but I didn't see it. Did you guys see it? All right, at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So this morning yet? At 6 p.m. Pacific time, 50 p.m. Pacific time, Central Standard Time. Federal law enforcement officers were conducting a targeted traffic stop in Minneapolis of an illegal alien from Venezuela, who was released into the country by Joe Biden in 2022. In an attempt to evade arrest, the subject fled the scene in his vehicle and crashed into a parked car. The subject then fled on foot. The law enforcement officer caught up to the subject on foot and attempted to apprehend him when the subject began to resist and violently assaulting the officer. While the subject and law enforcement were in a struggle on the ground, two subjects came up out of a nearby apartment and also attacked the law enforcement officer with a snow shovel and a broom handle. As the officer was being ambushed and attacked by the two individuals, the original subject got loose and began striking the officer with a shovel or broomstick. Fearing for his life and safety as he was being ambushed by three individuals, the officer fired a defensive shot to defend his life. The initial subject was hit in the leg. All three subjects ran back into the apartment and barricaded themselves inside. The attacked officer and subject are both in the hospital. Both attackers are in custody. And this attack on another brave member of law enforcement took place while Minnesota's top leaders, Governor Walz and Mayor Frey, are actively encouraging and organized resistance to ICE. Their hateful rhetoric and resistance against men and women who are simply trying to do their jobs must end. Federal law enforcement are facing 1,300% increase in assaults. It's just those guys they're pushing their agenda and they're causing this. I think they want, like I said, I think they want this. They want this to happen. They want a riot. Okay, now we're in this morning's news. Political violence. Anti-ICE protesters retreat as federal agents use tear gas. Okay, let's watch this one. It's only a short one.
I got hit in the head really bad. I got hit in the head really bad.
By what?
Fuck. Out of the blue, police are moving forward.
Just so you know, so real quick, I was part of what was called the Citizens Patrol class, in the town where I lived, and I took a Citizens Patrol class, and Citizens on Patrol. We got to go and do all kinds of stuff. We learned about every department of the police, and so one of the things that we learned, I can't get into this account anymore because YouTube kicked me off, but somehow they still keep my videos up so they can make money off of me. Let's see. I think it was called Citizen. Let me see. I've got to find the right video because they actually did this. Police. What was it? It was here it is. Citizens Academy. So this is what part of what I got to do, right? I made this video for him. And I'll probably get in trouble for playing the song. So at the very end though, oh, it's right here. At the very end, it was all part of what we had to shoot.
Brother, or just going.
One of the things we had to do is they took one of those bombs and they exploded us near us. And I mean, it's like a shockwave that hits you. It doesn't hurt you, but it makes your ears ring and it totally stuns you.
And meeting your own community.
I think I show it right here. Where is it? Here it is. And that's where I was. That's how close I was. And I tell you what, it's loud. It shocks the hell out of you. And yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun. So I know what they're going through right here. Those ones look a little even. They're called shock bangs for a reason, right? So this is definitely from this morning news. Evacuation flights from Al Udeid told to stand down minutes after President Trump remarks. So 2 C-17 Globemasters preparing to fly non-essential personnel to Greece were reportedly ordered to return to Chocks and await further instructions. President Trump had just said Iran stopped the killings and halted executions. Interesting thing. So it sounds like that Iran was like, okay. Calm down. We were just joking with you. We were just playing. We're not gonna kill anybody anymore. But who knows? Who knows? So riot deployed tear gas at Minneapolis ICE scene. Is this the same footage we saw? This is different footage, so let's watch it from a different angle. They're just flashbangs. They're just to scare you, to get you in. What's the word I'm trying to think of? Combobulated, whatever. That's their whole entire job, just to scare the living shit out of you. It works pretty good though, as you can see. So fireworks and tear gas in Minneapolis. Protesters are now launching fireworks at federal officers as police deploy. They should be arrested instantly for this. Don't you think? I think that they should be arrested instantly if they're shooting fireworks at ICE agents. Where are they getting these illegal fireworks anyway? See, they're not doing anything. I would have gone and ran into that crowd and found out who had the fireworks. Search everybody. They probably have more than just one firework on them. Oh, they dropped the... Yeah, they don't want to give them weapons. See, look, whoever threw that ice at him, look, here's another firework. You know what? I have a 360 camera. I think they should put 360 cameras on every single vehicle, every shoulder of all these, or on their helmets. Put 360 cameras so you can find out who's throwing this stuff. Why aren't they doing that? Why not? They should all have 360 cameras. They're like, you want to throw stuff at us? We'll throw stuff at you too. how we're letting this stuff go on. Why are people not getting arrested for this stuff? I don't get it. I just don't get it. People should be getting arrested, but nobody is. I mean, I do get it. I gave my explanation, but still. So an ICE agent was hospitalized Wednesday after being ambushed following a traffic stop in Minneapolis. Authorities report another ICE-involved shooting in Minneapolis. Yeah. So this is something from Brianna Morello. What, Donnie? I just gave you a treat, buddy. DHS says federal law enforcement officers conducted a targeted traffic stop. Oh, we already read this exact same thing. She just copy and pasted, so we don't need to read this one. Is there a video on this now? Let's watch the video on this.
DHS says at 6:50 p.m. Central Time tonight, quote, federal law enforcement officers were conducting a targeted traffic stop in Minneapolis of an illegal alien from Venezuela who was released into the country by Joe Biden in 2022. In an attempt to evade arrest, the subject fled the scene in his vehicle and crashed into a parked car. The subject then fled on foot. The law enforcement officer caught up to the subject on foot and attempted to apprehend him when the subject began to resist and violently assault the officer. While the subject and law enforcement were in a struggle on the ground, two subjects came out of a nearby apartment and also attacked the law enforcement officer with a snow shovel and broom handle. As the officer was being ambushed and attacked by the two individuals, the original subject got loose and began striking the officer with a shovel or broomstick. Fearing for his life and safety as he was being ambushed by three individuals, the officer fired defensive shots to defend his life. The initial subject was hit in the leg. All three subjects ran back into the apartment and barricaded themselves inside. The attacked officer and subject are both in the hospital. Both attackers are in custody. This is another attack. This attack on another brave member of law enforcement took place while Minnesota's top leaders, Governor Walz and Mayor Fry, are actively encouraging an organized resistance to ICE and federal law enforcement officers. Their hateful rhetoric and resistance against men and women who are simply trying to do their jobs must end. So a very lengthy statement there, Sean, but it sounds a whole lot more complicated than what we initially had, that this was one person involved with the shovel. It sounds like ICE.
So it's three people total, it sounds like. What it sounds like to me. This is from Lives a TikTok. Agents shoot illegal in the leg in self-defense after three illegals ambushed him and attacked him with a shovel. So that's some of the newest stuff this morning, and I'm sure we're going to see some more. Let's keep on going. We got a couple more news articles, at least 10 more this morning, and then we'll hold off until tonight. So now they hold a press conference after the second ICE shooting. Do we need to watch all this? I don't know.
Provide some comments thereafter, Chief.
My name is Brian O'Hara, BRIAN_HARA. I am the Minneapolis Police Chief. At 6:51 p.m., Minneapolis police received a 911 call reporting a shooting on the 600 block of 24 Avenue North. Preliminary information indicates that there was a struggle with a federal agent in front of the resident. During the struggle, the federal agent discharged his weapon, striking one adult male. The adult male then retreated inside of the residence, where he remained inside and refused to come out. Eventually, federal agents made entry into the residence, and the individual was brought to an ambulance where he has been transported to the hospital. Minneapolis police have secured the crime scene around the location, and the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, as well as the FBI, are on the scene processing the evidence. There's a crowd gathered in the area, and we have called for mutual aid from the Minnesota State Patrol and Hennepin County Sheriff. The crowd is engaging in unlawful acts. They have thrown fireworks at police officers.
Wow, they're admitting
and multiple times, gas has been deployed. Police are attempting to disperse this unlawful assembly at this time. I urge anyone that is at the scene to leave immediately. This is already a very tense situation, and we do not need this to escalate any further. I have
Mayor
faith
Fry was pushing
that the
it.
investigators are involved will follow every lead in this case and ensure it is completed to its logical conclusion.
There's still a lot that we don't know at this time, but what I can tell you for certain is that this is not sustainable. This is an impossible situation that our city is presently being put in. And at the same time, we are trying to find a way forward to keep people safe, to protect our neighbors, to maintain order. And we're in a position right now where we have residents that are asking the very limited number of police officers that we have to fight ICE agents on the street, to stand by their neighbors. We cannot be at a place right now in America where we have two governmental entities that are literally fighting one another.
So then why fight back?
Why are we put in this position? We're put in this position because we have approximately 600 police officers.
No, you're put in a position because you are failing to give ICE agents illegal aliens before they leave jail. You are put in this position because you are protecting illegal aliens. You are put in this position because you and both Tim Walz have been out there saying, film ICE, do whatever you can to peacefully protest, but they are bad people. You keep saying how bad and racist they are. So you put these people in the position. You put yourself in this position, you dumbass.
In Minneapolis, far fewer that are able to work at any given time. And there are approximately 3,000 ICE agents in the area. 3,000. The 600 police officers that we have are charged on any given day with investigating crime, stopping homicides from taking place, preventing carjackings. That's the work of a police officer in a city. Meanwhile, we have ICE agents throughout our city and throughout our state who, along with Border Control, are creating chaos.
See, here it is, right here. This is why you're in this position. They're creating chaos. You're blaming it on ICE when it's actually your fault. You're protecting illegal aliens and fraudsters.
This is not the path that we should be on right now in America. Thankfully, there's another path. And I want to talk to everybody who's out there, even people who aren't living in Minneapolis right now. Maybe you just put your kids to bed. Maybe you're cleaning up the dishes. I'm sure you love your family. There's no doubt in my mind that you love your town. Imagine if that city or that town was suddenly invaded by thousands of federal agents that do not share the values that you hold dear. Imagine if your daily routines were disrupted. The local cafe that you eat at was shut down because they're scared that their own family might get torn apart.
Oh, you mean because they're illegal aliens?
Imagine if schools shut down and suddenly parents got to figure out what to do for daycare. This is not creating safety.
What daycare? They're all
certainly
fake
not
fraud
creating
daycares.
safety when a huge percentage of the shootings that have taken place so far this year in Minneapolis have been by ICE. So let's be very clear.
He just said half. There's only been 2 shootings, and so it's only the beginning of the year. But also, they were shot because they were attacking ICE agents. You forget about that part.
I've seen conduct from ICE that is disgusting and is intolerable.
See, once again, it's all
ICE. If it
ICE
were your
fault.
city, it would be unacceptable there too. And for anyone that is taking the bait tonight, stop. That is not helpful. Go home. We cannot counter Donald Trump's chaos with our own brand of chaos. And I have seen thousands of people throughout our city peacefully protesting.
My ass.
For those that have peacefully protested, I applaud you. For those that are taking the bait, you are not helping, and you are not helping the undocumented immigrants in our city.
Illegal aliens.
You are not helping the people that call this place home.
Illegal aliens.
ICE can leave, and this massive deployment can come to an end. We have filed litigation to hopefully make it so, and at the same time,
wasting taxpayer money.
I'm deeply concerned that we don't have that kind of time. This is already the second shooting that we've had in a week. People are scared. The atmosphere is tense. But again,
You notice
there
how he's
is
not blaming the
another
people
option.
that were
We
going
can
after
stop
ICE agents,
going
right?
down this route together. We'll open it to any questions.
So there were reports initially that there was more than one person shot. That is not true. There is one person that's been shot. It is a non-life-threatening injury, and they have been transported to the hospital. The remainder of the residence has been cleared. We did have one call of, I believe, a woman having an anxiety attack in the basement of the same residence, the same building. But to my understanding, no one else has been transported to the hospital.
And no children involved in this?
To my understanding, no.
DHS has said that 2 other people came out of an apartment and started attacking the officer with shovels, and that the original person that they were looking for also did that. What has your investigation told you so far?
So the question was that people had come out of the residence and attacked federal law enforcement with shovels. The understanding that we have at this time is that this incident began on 94. The individual drove towards the residence, had some sort of accident outside the residence, ran towards the house, and got into a struggle with federal law enforcement. There is I believe there's a broom and like a snow shovel that's on the scene. And yes, I have heard information that that some individual, at least one person,
way to cover
may
up
have
to say
assaulted
yes.
federal law enforcement. Yes. I am not aware if that's the same person who was shot or if that's someone else.
Will MPD be doing its own investigation of what happened?
The question was, will MPD be doing an investigation of what happened?
I like how he repeats the question.
I requested the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Investigation, Criminal Apprehension to respond, and they are on scene.
And you were saying that there was unlawful protesting that happened. Can you be a little bit more specific?
The question was about unlawful protesting. It has absolutely become an unlawful assembly. There are individuals throwing fireworks at police officers, individuals throwing ice, rocks, other projectiles at police officers. It is well past the line, and people need to leave.
What kind
Wow.
of communication, if any of you, had with federal law enforcement?
The question was communication with federal law enforcement tonight. That communication was all on the scene. It was primarily related to trying to ensure that we were getting medical aid because we had a report of a shooting, and then also to try and ensure that we could maintain the integrity of the crime scene so that there could be an investigation into what occurred.
Do you know what the condition of the person shot is? And we're also told that agent was injured and taken to the hospital. Do you have any updates on either condition?
I have no updates on either condition. It's my understanding that this is a non-life-threatening gunshot wound.
Can you talk about anything you know about that initial stop that started on 94, that initial chase, if you will, and anything you know about the person that they were following?
So I know nothing about the person that they were following. And then the rest of the question was about the initial chase. It's my understanding that we have some other 911 call indicating that someone from the house was calling, saying that the person in the car was running from ICE. I was driving towards the residence. That's my understanding.
Did Mayor Fry respond to criticism that local officials are contributing to rising rhetoric, and that's part of the reason why we're perceived as...
It's just saying, is it the rhetoric from Democrats that are causing this?
What rhetoric? So the question was, can I respond to rhetoric? What rhetoric?
Says that there's rhetoric from local officials that they say has just kind of taken up the picture of everything.
So the question was, there has been the accusation that local officials have perhaps taken up the temperature in Minneapolis.
They have.
First, I'll say, show me a single place where I have encouraged anything other than peace.
It's
Show
not
me
very
a single
hard.
place where we have encouraged violence.
Not very
I have
hard.
said from the get-go to people in Minneapolis, do not take the bait. We are better
You
than
just said that today. That's the first time you
have
said that.
encouraged peaceful protest, and I'll say it again, I am inspired by the tens of thousands of people who have in fact peacefully protested and fairly documented with transparency what is taking place. That is allowed in any city in the country. And I have made it clear that to the extent people are going beyond that, and those protests are not peaceful, and the violence that the chief mentioned, it's got to stop, and you got to go home.
Two more questions.
If this situation is not sustainable, as you said a few minutes ago, where do you go from here? What options do you as mayor have from this point forward?
Yeah. So just yesterday or the day before, I'm losing track of the days here, Minneapolis, along with St. Paul and the Attorney General's office at the state, filed a lawsuit. That lawsuit outlined the duress that our city is presently experiencing and how making people safe in our city is made all the more difficult based on the presence of ICE. We are hopeful that we will succeed ultimately in that lawsuit. Of course, my concern is that yet another shooting will take place. Yet another person will be injured or killed. This is not a new concern. The chief and I have been laying this concern out for well over a month at this point.
Why are you pushing it?
This is not sustainable. Our officers,
nice,
they are
Terry
working tirelessly. Again, we have about 600 officers. There's about 3,000 ICE agents in border control. We need our officers responding to the basic day-to-day 911 calls. We don't have the capacity to both deal with that and all of this conduct that we're seeing from ICE on the daily basis. Earlier today and yesterday, I was out on a couple of major commercial corridors in our city. People are scared. There's
because you're scaring
basic
them.
rights that you should have to be able to live.
You keep telling them, when you keep saying ICE agents are arresting citizens, they're arresting citizens. Look, they drugged this pregnant woman down the road, but you're not telling them that they attacked ICE first. You're making ICE into bad guys, and you're scaring people. ICE are only here for the illegal aliens that you're protecting, but they're also part of your fraud scheme, so you need to protect yourself as well. Stop your fucking lying.
Safely in your neighborhood, to be able to go
He raises
downstairs
his
and head to the
eyebrows.
cafe or the flower shop. The people that would normally keep up these shops, American citizens, by the way, many of them, are terrified. Because American citizens are getting picked up off the street by people in masks. That's not the way things should be conducted in any city in America. That's not who we are. That's not America. So I'm calling for peace. Everybody has a role in achieving that peace. And we're going to try to do everything that we can to keep it. Yes, our office, yes, is in touch with the governor's office, as we've been for the last week here. He has been an excellent partner in both ensuring that we have additional resources through the Minnesota State Patrol, through the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, and that work will be done in partnership. Thanks, everybody.
We'll have more information tomorrow that will put out.
Yeah, ICE is always the problem, right, Terry? It's all ICE's fault. That's what they're doing. It's just blame ICE. When they want to riot, they're trying to hide all the Somali fraud. The more riots that they can get is the better for them. That's, I think, what's going on here. Okay, so what the Lincoln's deployment tells us about U.S. timing on Iran. So the USS Abraham Lincoln and 3 Arleigh Burke class destroyers just got pulled from the South China Sea. At typical cruising speed, that's roughly a week to reach the Arabian Sea. So what does this mean for timing? Option 1, the United States waits for Lincoln, suggesting a larger sustained campaign with full carrier air power that pushes any major action to late January. Option 2, the U.S. acts before the Lincoln arrives, using assets already in position, destroyers and Tomahawks in the Gulf, and B-2 bombers from the continental U.S. like Operation Midnight Hammer last June. The link in then provides follow-on capability for extended operations. The second option seems to be more likely. You don't reposition an entire carrier group from the Pacific for a symbolic one-night strike. The link is deployment signals Washington is preparing for something prolonged. Now, I have a third option. Maybe, well, actually, I have 4 options. So the third option would be maybe they're just doing that to scare the shit out of Iran so they stop executing American citizens. Number 2, maybe it's a diversion for something going on somewhere else in the world. So just think about those 2 things, folks. Keep that in mind when what actually happens, and you'll be like, oh, I heard that from Eddie Block first. You may have heard it already too. Who knows? All right, so Chaos's federal agents slam protester to the ground. Good. Let's see him slam this protester. They deserve to be slammed to the ground. Wow, he turned her down. I'm guessing she's the one yelling, shame on you. So this guy starts, okay, I guarantee it looked like he slipped, but this dude starts running towards the police, or the ICE agents. Look at this, watch him. See, he was running towards them, and then he tried to stop, and then that's when he slipped. Why did he have, but it's all ICE's fault, right? Liberal white women are the worst, aren't they? Oh my goodness. Thank goodness we can turn the volume down, right? Oh my goodness. These white liberal ladies. Oh, whoops, what did I do wrong here? Let me try this again. I put it in the wrong spot, didn't I? Here we go. So Starbucks employees in Minnesota are now demanding for ICE agents to be banned because they're deporting Somalis.
Just really quick, we're going to...
That's the store manager, I guess. So let's see.
On behalf of our coworkers, just really quick, we're going to briefly pause the meeting to express some grave concerns. So last week, ICE agents murdered Renee Nicole, a community member and mother of 3 in broad daylight. So since then, they've set up checkpoints targeting 5 cop drivers, physically assaulted teenagers in tear gas schools. Their actions made it clear the presence of ICE agents poses a threat to everyone, most especially to our Somali, Hmong, and Hispanic neighbors. Current guidance is inadequate. We are empowered to ask ICE agents to leave if and only if they are harassing or disrupting business, but the only way to prevent this from happening in the first place is to our customers or us is to
how gay is this dude?
Is to forbid them from access to the premises outright. Back to Starbucks initiatives describe our stores as places designed for comfort, connection, and community. This isn't possible, isn't true when our workplace allows ICE agents into our stores. For the sake of its partners and for the sake of its customers, Starbucks must follow hundreds of Minnesota businesses that forbid ICE from entering without a warrant until January 22nd. If Starbucks cannot follow the racist community, thank you for listening.
What did he say we're going to do? You can't hear him. Now, Starbucks is a business. They have every single right to say we don't want to service ICE agents, right? They have every single right. They have that freedom, but it comes with consequences. So yes, you can have that freedom, but if customers are going to stop coming to your store, customers are going to make you look bad on the internet. That's what could happen, just so you know. But they don't care. They're just employees. They can't get a job anywhere else. They're working at Starbucks making money and they're bitching. All right, so this is from the city of Minneapolis. In response to illegals ambushing an ICE agent and attacking him, the city of Minneapolis is demanding ICE leaves. Instead of demanding that foreign criminals leave, they want law enforcement to leave. So let's read it here. The city of Minneapolis again demands that ICE leave the city and state immediately. We stand by our immigrant and refugee communities. Know that you have our full support. So they're showing right here, hey, number one, they're saying, look, ICE is bad, folks. ICE is bad. Don't forget to go and yell at ICE and do everything you can to let them know how bad they are. But this is also saying that they are protecting illegals over American citizens. Just a joke. All right, so here's more video of it. ICE vehicles have been destroyed. This is where, okay, no, this is different. This is where they destroyed the ICE and FBI vehicles and looted by rioters after federal agents were forced to abandon them. We have this full coverage, and I have another video too in case this doesn't cover it all. So they broke the window. They're going through inside the vehicle, and they're filming themselves do this. Oh, and look, they're doing it without a glove, so they're touching everything, so we know their fingerprints are on there now.
Hey, I take the rims from off that motherfucking stuff. Fuck that ice car. Do we have a pen or stand over here? I'm taking the rims and everything.
So they're looting through it. Now they're breaking more windows. Yeah, you're a dumbass because the front windows are normally bulletproof. Oh, I guess that one's not. Okay, so this guy is breaking and entering if they can figure out who he is. He's now breaking and entering. Now look at them. They're trying to get in the weapon box or whatever that lock box is for. And the dumbass is doing it with no gloves on. On camera. Now somebody else is coming to help them. If they cut themselves, it'd be even better. They'd leave their blood DNA. A third person's coming in to help. Dumbasses. Dumbasses. Like, what are they doing in the front of the engine bay anyways? They're just destroying stuff is all they're doing.
Okay, so I was a pretty safe bet. Okay. Yeah.
My question is, where is the ICE agent?
Like, so far,
There's nobody near this vehicle?
Doesn't mean it hasn't happened, I just haven't seen it yet.
Hey, handsome. Bye, baby. Come on, then. Come on up. You gonna come up? Come up here.
Out of line!
Ooh, don't touch that with your bare hands.
Oh, shit. Fuck, that was dumb.
Where'd you touch it? Where'd you touch it?
I touched the whole.
Hey,
I think it was
throw it in
plate.
the sewer or some shit. Get rid of that shit. Hey, don't leave it in there. You already touched it already. Throw it in the sewer.
Appreciate you, man.
Throw it in the sewer. I thought leftists are all about saving the environment. Wouldn't that mess with the environment? Did I stop hitting you? I'm sorry. Really? Okay. I tell you what, guys, there's nothing like waking up to a huge Saint Bernard that just wants to cuddle all day long. Watch this. Donnie, come here. Hey, monster. We can see the back end of him here. He just, nothing better, because Saint Bernards, all they want to do is hug and cuddle. And as you can tell, Donnie is your normal Saint Bernard. On babies. Oh, now he comes up. Hold on, now he comes up so you can see him. Now you can see him. Hold on 1 second. There he is. Oh, handsomes. Oh, babies. He just wants his loving from his dad. Oh, babies. Yeah.
Why wouldn't we take that? Why wouldn't somebody take that? What happened? Maybe it's a personal species. What's the purpose?
Invisible. Donnie's in charge now. Oh, look, they got a laptop.
In what context?
It's Donnie's show now. Okay, buddy. We got to get back to the show. We got a couple more news articles we got to show. We got a couple more news articles we got to show, buddy. And somebody's messaging me or something. All right, leftists appear to dox ICE and FBI agents after looting a government vehicle proudly documented on a Midas Touch live stream. I have blurred out sensitive information. The agent vehicles that were parked on the street in the shooting, they had to leave their cars behind because they got surrounded by protesters. One of the ICE agents' vehicles got broken into, and I found this paperwork. It has a list of FBI operation info, and they showed this on live last night.
I'm safe.
Yeah, Donnie's a good boy. Although it's Donnie with the ID.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah. So just let me hold the microphone. You go through the paperwork. And you kind of describe.
Is it live?
Yeah.
In the original shooting that happened here tonight, the ICE agent vehicles that were parked on the street in the shooting, they had to leave their cars behind because they got surrounded by protesters. One of the ICE agent vehicles got broken into, and I found this paperwork. It has a list with FBI operation info. It's got full names of FBI agents, phone numbers, emails. There's maps on where they're staying, where they're holding immigrants. There's hotel names in there.
These people
There's
should be
judge
arrested
names.
for this.
This paperwork has people's full names and their emails. Operation posture. Operational posture. This is how they're supposed to stand and how they're supposed to handle protesters. This is the transport of immigration targets. This is a map showing you where they're taking immigration targets.
If these people don't get
and
arrested, then
instructions
I don't know
on how
what's
to
gonna
get into the
happen.
building, on what they're supposed to do on booking.
Yeah, that's where I saw baseball, Eric. In fact, within the next 5 clips or 6 clips, I only have 6 clips left. Within the next 6 clips, we're gonna show you actually his video too. So let's see, rioters breaking into ICE vehicles in Minneapolis, rummaging through. So this is a whole bunch of different clips. This is all, and this is all speaking of Mikado Media. Here you go. Anybody that puts out that federal information has got to be arrested, I would think. Mikado Media.
This is,
You know, after January 6th, the FBI raided my house just for filming, and I never even went inside January 6th. I was just on Capitol grounds, and they raided my house, and I still have yet to get most of my stuff back. This motherfucker better get raided by the FBI. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
That are left. Man, they tore their shit up. You going in? All right.
Okay, so that's one of his clips. They broke into it. They destroyed it. They broke into it. That's how.
It's one of their boots, 511 Tactical. We actually saw them shop at this store. They got it in Richfield.
Did they take the whole car apart?
They got a lot of parts. Just don't touch. Yeah, don't touch shit, bro. Because oh fuck, Jesus. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Here, look at it.
And they tried breaking into that lockbox. I'm not sure if they get all the
They
way
have
in
their
or
bag
not.
out here. Their clothes are in the street. All their medical shit. This is one of so this is not one of the ICE vehicles. They have a lighter on the ground.
I get fingerprints from that
So they have
lighter.
multiple ICE vehicles.
So if you didn't hear what they said earlier, Sharon, they had just surrounded ICE, and the only thing ICE could do was to get the hell out of there. So what happens is, ICE sometimes will park their cars down the street and they'll walk up because they can't get through because of all the protesters. So they walk up, and so that's probably what happened here. Is they got ambushed by these citizens shooting fireworks and stuff at them, and so they had to leave their vehicles behind. Okay, so here's
Not the Reeboks. I had the Reebok. Hey, thank you so much. Thank you. Had the Reeboks on.
They tore out the air cleaner.
It's crazy work.
If they don't raid this guy's house, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, don't touch this. Don't touch anything. Okay, yeah.
Can you see in there?
Oh. Yeah, I can't see shit in there. Oh, yeah, it's gear.
Is this gear?
I see a gear in
I'm
there.
trying to keep them off this thing all night because they've been trying to jam.
I'm not physically touching a thing because this is all federal property.
I was trying to wonder what was in there.
You have a picture. Not the Reeboks.
So
I had the Reebok.
I think there's even more footage. I got more footage of this as well coming up. Governor Kathy Hochul declares war on reality in the State of Delusion address. Hochul just set the podium. She was shit. I can't answer the phone right now. He just hit the podium like she was leading a Marvel reboot called Woke and Furious, delivering a monologue so divorced from reality it should come with court papers. She asked if we're standing up to fight for fundamental rights, which apparently now includes unlimited illegal immigration. She called New York a place to raise a family without being crushed by bills. Yeah, that's right. It's it says we're in the same state where buying groceries feels like entering a luxury auction. Let's watch the clip.
My friends, I am so proud to stand before you and say the state of New York is strong. And we're just getting started. Your family, your future are my fight. And I believe that 250 years from now, people will look back at this moment in time and ask, did we stand up and fight for the most fundamental rights when they were under attack? Did we stand up and protect New York as a beacon of opportunity for people all over the world? A place where you can raise a family.
You're a
without
citizen
being
for
crushed
New
by
York,
bills,
not the world.
where you can afford a home, where you can start a business, or work a farm without being destroyed by tariffs. Did we properly invest in education, knowing that an educated...
Okay, I can't watch any more of her stupidness. Sorry. Well, let me make sure. Yes, there's left. Okay. I got another link coming in right here. We only got a couple more left, and I got to get going because then I got to do some work around the house. And then take my nap because I take a nap every day. Okay, New York Times. Breaking news. A federal agent shot an immigrant in the leg in Minnesota. Illegal alien is what you should put. The federal official said 1 week after ICE officer killed Renee Good in the city. So they said this despicably misleading headline is exactly why the American people have completely lost faith in the mainstream media. This journalist knows the facts, was given the truth, and adamantly refuses to report it. So here are the facts. At 6:50 p.m. Central Time, federal law enforcement officers were conducting a targeted traffic stop in Minneapolis of an illegal alien from Venezuela who was released into the country by Joe Biden. In an attempt to evade arrest, the subject fled the scene in his vehicle and crashed into a parked car. The subject then fled on foot. The law enforcement officer caught up to the subject on foot and attempted to apprehend him when the subject began to resist and violently assaulting the officer. While the subject and law enforcement were in a struggle on the ground, two subjects came out of a nearby apartment and also attacked the law enforcement officer with a snow shovel and a broom handle. As the officer was being ambushed and attacked by two individuals, the original subject got loose and began striking the officer with a subject or broomstick. Fearing for his life and safety as he was being ambushed by three individuals, the officer fired a defensive shot to defend his life. The initial subject was hit in the leg. All three subjects ran back into the apartment and barricaded themselves inside. The attacked officer and subject are both in the hospital, and both attackers are in custody. So all three people that were bad actors in this, they are in custody at least. So it's a good thing that they've been arrested. But you know how the news is going to make it look like, oh, it's ICE's fault. It's ICE's fault. When it's really actually the news's fault for a good big portion. Okay, Rand Paul says, we're at the tip of the iceberg. Hundreds of millions in cash were openly shipped overseas through our airports. As Homeland Security Chair, I'm launching an investigation because Americans deserve to know where this money went. Right? And a lot of people are pissed off at Rand Paul right now, which they have a lot of reasons to be. So the Danish foreign minister lights up after White House Greenland meeting, says everything. Lars Løkke Rasmussen walked out of his sit-down with Vance and Rubio and immediately sparked a cigarette on the White House grounds. That's the diplomat equivalent of Jesus fucking Christ without saying a word, right? Denmark just called in French, German, and Swedish troops for military exercises while President Trump keeps floating takeover scenarios. Now their foreign minister needs nicotine to process whatever the hell that just got said in that room. We're gonna get Greenland. He's been being nice about it, slowly talking about it and giving them the chance to come our way, but they haven't. So, well, the time has come. House Republicans say they have the votes to hold Bill and Hillary Clinton in contempt after both refused to testify under oath. Comer says the charges will pass committee and the House. After refusing subpoenas tied to the Epstein investigation, Bill and Hillary Clinton now face potential contempt charges from House Republicans. The House Oversight Committee is preparing for a vote next week, with Chairman James Comer confirming the numbers are there. Both Clintons declined to testify under oath regarding their involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. But yet they think they're going to be out of this, right? And my question is this. Why does it take a week for them to vote on this? Why couldn't they said, okay, they're not here right now, let's take a vote right now? Why couldn't they have done that? You would think they could have done a vote right then and there, right, Sharon? It reminds you of how great the State of the Union is going to be this year. Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be in February, and it should be a good one. You're going to have to suicide the entire DOJ. There's some good ones on here. There's some good ones on here. All right, guys. So it is time for me to now go ahead and get going because I got a lot of stuff I got to do. But thank y'all for coming in and watching the show with me. And we'll be back at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time for another news show. And then at 9 o'clock p.m. Pacific, midnight over on the East Coast, we're going to play movie songs. So famous songs from movies. We play music every night at 9 o'clock. It all depends. And then we kind of throw up some Antifa stuff going on in the background. So thank y'all for being here. We'll catch y'all later and have a good day. Catch you later, Sharon. Catch you later, Eric. Who else still might be in here? And there anybody else that's still in here? Maybe Terry Ann Pie might still be in here. But we'll catch you guys later on, and thank you for watching with us. I appreciate it. Oh wait, you know what? Hold on. If you're on Rumble, hold on. Let's see who we can. We're gonna raid somebody on Rumble. Maybe AC is still streaming. We're gonna go raid somebody on Rumble real quick. So let's see who is live right now. And I think that's AC, isn't it? No. That's channel. Let me find the right one. Let me find the right one to stream. We'll send you to this guy, Jacob Castro. I'm gonna send you to this guy, Jacob Castro. Okay, guys? Go check him out. I've never watched their videos before. But we're trying to all expand stuff by raiding other people. We're trying to expand our minds. So I'm gonna raid you over to this Jacob Castro guy. Let me know how he's doing, if you like him or not, and if we should raid him more often because I actually have to get going. I got a lot of stuff to do today. So here's the raid.